Hello BookTube, Books with Banks back again with another video. I'm gonna kind of wing this one today. It's a bit of a review, but as many of you know, I've been reading through Kentaro Miura. Please correct me if I'm saying that wrong, but Kentaro Miura's Berserk Manga. And for the month of February, I set out with the goal of reading of the smaller volumes, volumes 6 through 10, and I have completed those. That's these right here. And yeah, so I'd just like to talk about kind of my experience with these so far, how I'm finding the series. Before I go any further, I will say I might get a little more spoilery as the video goes on, so stick around to your own comfort level with that sort of thing. Beyond that, if you haven't already, it would mean a lot if you could like and subscribe. But yeah, without any further ado, let's kind of talk about what I found, what I particularly enjoyed, wasn't so much a fan of in these volumes here. So, just for some context, if you're new to this manga series or if you haven't read it in a while, volumes 6 through 10 take place in the second arc, the Golden Age arc, which, from what I gather, is the sort of backstory arc of how Guts, our main character, got to be where he is in like the first 3 or so volumes of the series. The first several issues in the first arc, the Black Swordsman arc, and the different people he meets along the way. And by the point we get to volume 6 here, Guts, he's grown up. I mean, he's like maybe like a young adult now, and he's joined the band of the Hawk, led by the charismatic Griffith, who everyone loves, especially like Griffith's one of his like I don't know if it's his second in command, but someone really high up in the command here. And this is basically just a mercenary army going about kind of Middle Ages sort of time, that kind of aesthetic for the setting, helping out various castles defend themselves and whatnot. And his like second in command in this army is this woman named Casca, and there's a little bit of conflict between Guts and Casca, and Guts is just very violent and kind of bullheaded and goes in sword blazing, just killing whoever. He's very, very good. A lot of people are like, oh wow, he's almost as good as Griffith. That's sort of where we start out, and throughout these volumes, we really see a lot of I guess there on the cover you can see Guts and Griffith there. And there you can see Guts and Casca. In these volumes in particular, we see them defending this one kind of city, the one kind of like defending the one kind of house in charge of Midland. And Midland is like, it's sort of the good guys here, and then the Tudor like dynasty stuff, they're kind of the bad guys. And yeah, so the Band of the Hawk is helping the king and the leaders of Midland. There's a lot of interesting court politics that I found really, really compelling here that weren't really in the first ones, like the brother of the king scheming to get what he wants, Griffith doing things a little more shady than we would have expected from his more just charming, charismatic personality earlier on. For example, ordering Guts to possibly kill people in not the most honorable way, and then Guts grappling with his duty. There's also, I think my favorite thing about this whole section, this whole kind of time period where the Band of the Hawk is helping out Midland and kind of rising in the ranks, and even though they're like commoners and mercenaries, they're getting so much fame and celebrity status from all of their amazing war feats and stuff, like Guts possibly taking on 100 people by himself, stuff like that. That they're really rising in the ranks, and they're getting all of these great honors, and they get to be like the king's main army of knights and all of this great stuff. Obviously a lot of people within the kingdom don't like that the Griffith's Band of the Hawk is taking all of this power, or taking over the popular kind of common interest of everyone in town. And so they're scheming to go after the leaders there, go after Griffith, Guts, and Casca. They're scheming to protect the princess, a lot of stuff about the princess of this kingdom, and who she kind of is in love with. And then that kind of leads me into some of the other love stuff that's happening here. Throughout this whole kind of chunk, we have this love story emerging. Maybe some spoilers here now, I will say that. But we have this love story emerging between Guts and Casca, sort of an enemies to lovers kind of thing. Guts is put in a position where he has to protect her, and then they find out that their hatred of, or not hatred of each other, but the tension between them sort of comes from them both vying for the attentions of Griffith. And Casca's might be a romantic interest in him. It doesn't seem like Guts is romantic, but he definitely really looks up to Griffith. And so they kind of get time to themselves to go over and hash out what the tension and what the conflict is between them. And from there, we get a few volumes where, they're broken up, and at one point Guts tries to leave the Band of the Hawk, or successfully leaves them, and that kind of puts things into clearer perspective of whether or not Guts and Casca actually like each other. I like all of that. What I don't like so much is there's just so much commentary about her being a woman and a soldier and what that means, and if it was handled in a way that was actually raising serious questions about what that sort of thing means, that might be interesting. But really, it seems like what's happening here is the story itself. It frames all of these comments about her being a woman. For example, some of the soldiers recognize that she is or was on her period at one point in time. It frames all of that stuff in a comedic kind of lens, which is, it's just weird. I'm not sure if it's outright offensive that they're joking about the differences, that things that she has to think about whenever they go into battle versus what men have to think about. I'm not sure exactly what Kentaro Miura's going for there, but it reads just really awkward and a little bit cringy. There's also just a ton of we see a lot of our characters kind of naked, but it seems particularly male-gazy when we have Guts simultaneously healing the naked Casca, but also criticizing her for being weak and talking about how it's so weird that she's on her period. That just seems really, really strange and a little bit off-putting to me. Don't get me wrong, I really like the romance there, and I might just be misunderstanding what Miura was going for with this story, and I like these two characters together when they're not kind of joking around just so flippantly about the weird gender dynamics between them, when the artwork is showing just a lot more of Casca naked than Guts naked. And so that's the only stuff that I'm really kind of whenever I get to that stuff, I'm I like that they're in love, and I like that we might have a love scene here. I'm just not the biggest fan of how it's presented. But yeah, I think that's probably my only con so far with this collection of 5 volumes, which is kind of a shame because it goes hand in hand with the fact that I really do like the Guts and Casca relationship. I thought this series needed something like that, more inner character connection type storylines. We also get to know a lot of just the other members of the Band of the Hawk more here. Judo is one of my favorites now. We also, I think maybe my favorite thing about this is it really starts to hit heavily on theme with a leader's dreams and ambitions, and how ambitious Griffith is, and how much of themselves the other, all of his followers, are sacrificing just to help Griffith achieve his ambitions. And then some characters like Guts, they start to question and think about, well, do I want to be part of someone else's story? Do I want to always be part of helping someone else accomplish their dream? And never kind of trying to find my own self-identity, my own purpose. So that stuff I thought was all really, really compelling, really well done. Also, there's a really cool sort of, it was kind of a graphic, brutal kidnapping and torture kind of segment in like volumes 9 and 10, and then a group of characters goes to rescue the person that's been kidnapped. So that whole thing was, I thought, really. I found that real. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time during that, thinking, "Oh, what's the king gonna do?" Also, I like how from the beginning of Volume 6 to the end of Volume 10, my opinions on the King of Midland have totally changed. Like from here, I thought, "Oh, this actually is a good guy. I can see why the Band of the Hawk wants to help him out." But then by the end, it's like, okay, no, I'm okay with Griffith using him more as a playing piece because he has definitely shown more of his disgusting true colors. And yeah, and everything that we thought was virtuous about him was actually for like much sicker, kind of twisted reasons. But yeah, all in all, I am really enjoying Berserk, the Golden Age arc, and these 5 volumes had some of my favorite moments in everything I've read of this so far, and I can't wait to read the next. I think the next 4 Golden Age arc ties up in those. Like I think in like volume 13 or 14, Golden Age arc wraps up. So I'll read, next month or so. I'll probably finish the Golden Age, and then start on. I think it's the Conviction arc comes next. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all of that. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.